We have a LeBron James trade update as Knicks rumors are seriously escalating after a series of reports regarding James being eligible to be traded, and also with Mike Brown coming into the New York Knicks, leading to multiple outlets believing that if James were to leave the Los Angeles Lakers, the New York Knicks are not only the best situation for him, but the situation that he would most want to go to, considering the Cleveland Cavaliers having some issues preventing them from pulling it off. And we're going to break it all down. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here. Bet you guys are going to love this one. Let's jump right into it. Guys, if you are part of that 68% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, make sure to subscribe. We got daily videos not like this. I know you guys do not love the LeBron James stuff, but it's what's going on right now. We're going to talk about it for 8 minutes. We're going to get the hell out of here. But let's jump into the video, guys. There is a lot to go over on the topic. It is a very real situation that we're looking at right now in regards to everything. LeBron James, for the first time really in his NBA career, is the subject of trade rumors. Everywhere LeBron's ever went up until this point, he's been the franchise player on his team. But when the Los Angeles Lakers pulled off one of the greatest heists in NBA history to acquire Luka Doncic in exchange for Anthony Davis, and somebody hating on AD, but they got Luka, and it shook up the NBA. It proved the Lakers were not going to win anything that year because they frankly didn't have a big man. They were going to be hindered. Any team that makes a massive in-season trade usually has their roster a bit hindered and thrown off, and things do take a year to get things going, which everyone sort of saw as a reason for LeBron to stay in the NBA longer than usual, or longer than initially expected, with this widely being regarded, last season widely being regarded as probably the second to last year of LeBron James, going into his 23rd season. Everyone sort of expected that'd be it. But when the Lakers traded for Luka, it felt like it extended his window longer. Reports sort of revealed that LeBron was interested in sticking around for a while longer, as he still was he's still at all-star level. And at the end of the day, he doesn't really want to retire. His wife, Savannah, does, where LeBron was noted by saying, I wouldn't mind New York. Savannah wants me to retire in like a year. So he's already mentioned that he likes the city of New York. LeBron spent a lot of time in New York recently. I don't think he's still here, but he might be. Since Fanatics Fest, LeBron has stuck around in New York City, going out to fancy dinners, working with Chris Brickley, hanging out with Kevin Love, going golfing, and working out in the Hamptons. LeBron is spending a good amount of time in New York. It's been heavily marketed since well before he ever joined the Lakers that LeBron was going to end up being a Laker, considering every summer for a very long time, he had a house in LA that he would go to for his summers. He would spend his summers in LA, but right now he's spending his summer in New York because he spends all his time in LA, and everyone sort of thinks that there's a world that he's testing the market, he's testing the user, and at the end of the day, LeBron James, he is hated by most Knicks fans. He's hated by a lot of Lakers fans. Still, some Laker fans don't like him because the LeBron-Kobe rivalry, which is weird. You get a guy who, at the very worst, is the second best player in NBA history, and whenever I say that I think he's the best, someone unsubscribes, which is absolute lunacy. I'm sorry that I think that. He has the most points, he has the most points in NBA history. Only guy with 40K, 10K, 10K. He's made the finals, 11 times? The man has 4 rings against a dominant cast, played against 2.5 All-Stars per team compared to Michael Jordan's 1 per team, but is what it is. I'm not here to argue the LeBron James GOAT argument. I think you could easily argue that Jordan's the GOAT. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to talk about LeBron James and the New York Knicks. And what Brian Wintour said is, when the idea of a trade came up, I slammed the door on it. First off, LeBron wants to be a Laker. If he didn't want to, he would have opted out. He has a no-trade clause. Over the last few days, I've unlocked the door. I wouldn't say I've opened the door. I'm not 100% sure. My conversations over the last few days have crystallized that the Lakers are essentially viewing LeBron as an expiring contract. LeBron has never been an expiring contract. Quite literally. He's never been on an expiring contract. He's never been 40 years old. He's never not been the franchise player on his team. Until now, that is. And on top of that, Wendy also mentioned the Lakers and LeBron. Whoever wants to spin their side of the story, I'm not sure what happened, but they did not substantive discussions about extending his contract. I should have had the word have in there, but sorry. What happens to expiring contracts in the NBA? They're viewed as trade pieces. The Lakers are not done with their offseason, and this was prior to the Ayton deal. And as Wendy said, I'm not as convinced as I was before that it's an impossibility of LeBron James getting traded off the Lakers. Now, because of all this, people have started to float the Knicks around as a realistic option. And MSG analyst, who's also on ESPN, Alan Hahn, did say, Where is the fastest, easiest path to the NBA Finals for LeBron James? It's the place he has avoided for his entire career. That's right, everybody. It's right here in New York. I dare him. I double dog dare him. The one place that you know you could go. All you have to do is say it. Sing it if you want to, like Frank Sinatra, New York, New York. If he does that, that's a gigantic narrative that you know he loves. Look, at the end of the day, I'm a big fan of LeBron because he's fun to watch. I'm a big fan of every single NBA star because I enjoy watching them play. I frankly, like I'm not having any fun watching Tyrese Halliburton play basketball when it's not against the Knicks. No, I am. Anyone who is a good NBA player, it's fun to watch because they're some of the most talented players in the world. I like watching good basketball. Sue me. Whatever. Like, that's just how I feel. I'm a basketball fan. I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan, and I will always root for the Knicks above everyone else. But I'm not going to not enjoy watching great talents for any reason. The only time I ever felt that way was when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors because it felt like the NBA was just going to be boring for the next couple of years, which it was. It was. It was boring for 2 years because Kevin Durant and the Warriors were an unbeatable force. It's why we have second aprons now. But in regards to James, we know... I can't believe I just called him James. He's LeBron. But in regards to LeBron, we know he has a flair for the dramatic. We know he's obsessed with the spotlight. LeBron's been in the spotlight since he was 16 years old. He's 40. The vast majority of his life, and it's always going to be this way, he was incredibly famous. He was one of, if not the most famous person to ever get drafted into the NBA before his time. At 16 years old, he was on Sports Illustrated called The Chosen One. It was a different kind of fame. This was before social media and LeBron made himself a household name. Because of that, he's always had a flair for the dramatic. He wants the spotlight on him. He wants the narrative to be about LeBron James. How do you shut the entire world up? You win a championship with the team that hasn't won one in 51 years. LeBron knows that. He's not stupid. He's aware that if he went to the Knicks and they won a championship, the world would explode. And he would create a whole different narrative about himself. He could kind of do the whole Tom Brady thing of, well, I went to this team that was in the dumps and I dragged them out and we won an NBA Finals, or in Tom Brady's case, we won a Super Bowl instantly. Then I got drunk on a boat because of a bunch of avocado tequila or something. I don't even know what I've never heard of avocado tequila, and I bartended for a year. But that's not the point. Look, when it comes down to it, NBA Trade Report, who I'm not saying is the end-all be-all of anything. I understand that they're very sketchy at best. But they said a LeBron James trade to New York remains a situation to watch closely as the offseason unfolds. And Sleeper Knicks did propose the idea of the Knicks trading OG Anunoby and Josh Hart for Bronny James, and Dalton Connect. If I'm being honest, I don't love the trade. I would rather have the core we have now because I do believe they could win. But also, if you're adding LeBron James for a contract in OGs, it's probably not going to be great by the end of it. It's not going to be a bad contract because the way the salary is increasing, it's not really going to be viewed as crazy or anything. And I do love OG and think he's very much the best defender on the Knicks and don't really want to lose him. I think without OG and Josh, our defense and hustle would go down. Bronny's not really going to add anything. Dalton Connect is a good shooter. The Knicks do need that. But here's where things get interesting if you make that trade. You do get cap space back, and that's a fun thing to look at. As Sleeper Knicks mentioned, the LeBron connections, Worldwide West, Leon Rose, and LeBron worked together for years before LeBron made Rich Paul his agent, and Rich Paul started Clutch Sports. Clutch, Rich Paul, and Dolan really hashed things out not too long ago, allowing a client relationship to build so, for instance, Jordan Clarkson getting the minimum deal, and so deals would not get blocked because of Rich Paul and Leon Rose's beef. Now, Mike Brown coached LeBron. His first head coach gig was in Cleveland with a young LeBron James. Mike Brown has spoke so highly of LeBron, saying he's the smartest player he's ever coached and the smartest basketball player and basketball mind he's ever been around. Now, on top of that, the apron situation gets really interesting, as Sleeper mentions. You look at how, after making the deal, the Knicks roster sits at 13 players, but more importantly, it's a total of $203,842,982. What's important to keep in mind is that the second apron sits around $4 million above that, meaning the Knicks have $3,982,018 under the second apron, so they can then go out and sign a minimum. What's next for that season? While having that money available and being under the second apron, the Knicks can accomplish two additional moves: a veteran's minimum contract, which is $2,296,274, where you could get a backup guard, a wing, a forward, a center, whatever you want to do. In this case, probably a forward. And then, on top of that, you have a rookie minimum $4 for Mohamed Diawara, for James Najee. You have some options there, and it combines for still less in the second apron, where the Knicks are not allowed to go into because they used that mid-level exception on Gershon Yabusele. So it does get very interesting when you look at the whole situation. The whole thing becomes sort of a realistic scenario where if LeBron wanted to make the move, the team that makes sense is the Knicks. It's just what makes sense. And with Mike Brown there, LeBron and Mike Brown are very, very close. We know this about them. I'm not saying I think it's going to happen and LeBron would have to make the first move. I don't think it's going to happen. But this is probably outside of 2010, which already, because of me saying that, is worrisome considering it's 2025. This is the closest in 15 years the Knicks have been to landing LeBron James. The question is, do you want to shorten your window like crazy because you traded for LeBron James, who might retire in a year? Do you really want to do that? Does LeBron want to do it? Do the Lakers want to do it? There's like a 2% chance this happens. But the rumors are there, and they're not going anywhere. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this saga unfolds. I have a feeling I know what most of you guys think here. I hope you still like this video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. I know Knicks fans don't like LeBron. I get it. I'm going to like any player who's fun to watch. I've watched LeBron so much. I didn't like him at first. I was 9 in 2010. I hated that he ended up forming that team with the Heat. I hated it. I watched the decision. I was 9, but I remember it. I didn't like it. I didn't like him. And then he grew on me because great players have a tendency to start to grow on you. Kevin Durant started to grow on me as well. They're just so fun to watch. It's so fun to watch the best do it. Anyone who says they don't like it is just being a hater. And I'm not saying about LeBron. I'm saying about anyone where it's like, how people are like, I don't like Jalen Brunson. He's a flopper. I guarantee you they would enjoy watching Jalen Brunson against a team that's not their own. But people only complain when it's about their own team. Well, now that I've alienated basically everyone, guys, have a great day and go Knicks. Have a good long weekend.